Greetings. Welcome back to another edition of the Snap Ministry podcast. I am your hostess, Sister Snap, aka Miss Snap, Snap, whatever it is, long as we snapping. Um, I'm just I'm in awe. I'm pickled right now because my original second post or second installment of this new podcast that I'm launching was not supposed to be about this particular person, but we're going to shift today. So today we will be debunking Hayley Comet again, and this is only um, after so much controversy over these last 2 days, attacking Fata, accusing Sabrian and her of all kind of in, defamatory type of statements, etc., etc. And so today I just felt compelled because after today, I just decided I'm not going to give this woman any more of my energy because, as my mother and wise people once told me, that when you roll around with dogs, you get fleas, and that's just a figurative manner of speaking. That's just a parable that we often use in my culture and in the Caribbeans, right? So today I want to address a couple of things because of so many lives that transpired yesterday. And now my name is being dragged and slandered, and I won't have that. Unlike other people, I'm not one to do that with. And yeah, we're going to deal with it the right way. So we're going to basically put some things to the side and deal with this firsthand. And then we're going to get into the meat of the matter, which ultimately I'm standing on, as she says, business, which is it's crazy, which is justice for Adriana. So the thing that I'm going to pose, the question that I'm posing once again is what Hayley Comet brings to the table truly justice for Adriana? And not just Adriana, but Adriana Younge and her family, because there are some atrocious accusations that are being thrown at not just Adriana's direct family, but her indirect family. And so, just like her, I have a team as well. I'm so thankful for my team, and I'm praying that through this through this process, we progress and we grow in righteousness, and we don't have to continue to have these type of podcasts because it's so much more pertinent information, pertinent things that we need to be talking about as it pertains to justice for Adriana. And then once we get justice for Adriana, just the whole Snap Ministry movement with you know turning your pain into purpose, because that's what this movement is about. It's about safe spaces for people, primarily women first, to come and lay their burdens down, to call in, to talk about things that have affected them where they may not have felt supported, or they may have felt gaslit, or they may have had microaggressions. We as women often suffer in silence, and we carry the brunt of everything in the homes in most cases. And even if that's not the case, again, this is just a safe space for women to come and to be able to divulge their truths in confidentiality if they choose to. And if not, hey, just share their story to serve as testimony or testament to someone else so that they too can see, hey, what I'm going through right now, I am not alone. I don't have to suffer in silence. Yo, there are other people that are out there, other women that are out there that too have gone down this road that I am currently on, and that I see no light at the end of the tunnel, only to find out that, hey, this sister made it through, so can I. So this is why I'm deeply moved when I see these atrocious things that comes from this woman Hayley Comet. And the question that I'm going to pose now, and I want for those of you that view this until we get the call line up and running, which I have the number. I'm just wanting to do it the right way, and we're going to start taking calls and having people call in, and we have these respectful, and I emphasize respectful conversations. Until that happens, please share in the comments, because I know that people say that. And I want to be very clear because I want to distinguish the difference between me versus so many that are out here that are spewing out all of this content creation and so forth. I am not here to trick for likes. I am not here to trick for subscribe. That's not what it's about for me. Okay. If that comes, then that is a blessing because that will aid me in the journey that I'm on to provide physical spaces for women to come to commune, to have unions, etc. So there's so many things that are working behind the scenes quietly as it's kept until it's time to come to surface. But in the meantime, we still need a safe space to release all that lies within us. And so, with what's going on in this current state and position in this current climate, particularly on social media, and particularly as it pertains to Adriana Young's case and all of the chaos and the tumultuous activity around this beautiful baby that we lost prematurely and violently. The question that I posed, and it was brought up in a live that I was in yesterday that totally disturbed my spirit. This young man that was in there couldn't control his emotions and literally called me everything but a child of God, goddess. Invited me to all his body parts, very unwarranted, just because I wanted to clarify things and make specifications as it pertains to the dialogue that was being provided on that platform. So that too has led me to create my own space because what I'm realizing in a lot of these social media platforms, particularly TT, is it is unhinged. And you sadly cannot have sound, intellectual, reasonable dialogue with individuals, whether you have a difference of opinion or not. So the question that I'm posing as it pertains to this journey that we're getting ready to go down, that I'm about to solidify and conclude with, because this person no longer deserves any of my high priestess energy whatsoever. So I'm no longer going to continue to engage in that low vibrational frequency. But the question that I posed, and I posted to a young lady this morning when we were talking, which is, does the fact that someone who has a high numerical following, meaning followers, supporters on these social platforms, when a person that has a very high considered and high number in the hundreds of thousands, and they bring quote unquote awareness to a situation such as one is sensitive as Adriana Young's, when a person of that caliber comes into the limelight and they bring awareness, but they also, within that awareness that they bring, also bring dissension, also bring slanderous statements, also brings conflict and chaos and continual debates with multiple people. It would be different if it's one or two people, maybe here and there, like what you call a one off, but constantly, daily, all day debating with people, popping in and out of lives, going back to their life, then talking about that conflict, talking about this person, cursing out this person. Like the question that really concerns me, because this is the thing that I'm hearing from different sides of the spectrum, which is, oh, this person, Hayley Comet, or without her, we wouldn't know about Adriana Young, which is not true in a lot of cases, but to some who I guess I'm respectfully going to say may seem limited in their accessibility, feels that that's their only outlet. And one of the things that was stated was, well, we can't take away from Hayley Comet because she has brought so much awareness and she did raise money, which we will definitely get into that and we will delve down that rabbit hole. But the question is, does what she brings to the table supersede her bringing awareness to certain pockets and certain demographics? Does what she brings to the table supersede the harm, the dissension, to the accusatory acts that she performs, the attacks, the verbal attacks, the erratic behaviors? Does that supersede, does her raising funds, does her talking about Adriana's case supersede all of the harm, the irreparable harm that she's doing? For example, and we're going to start playing clips. So this time I'm not going to talk as much. I just needed to get that part out so that you all understand why we're here today and what the reason for this conversation is, because I'm really baffled at the state of mind of a lot of people. So right now, the current temperature is this whole argument between she and Fata. What I'm seeing firsthand is she'll make claims, she'll be very immature in her lives, calling people out their names, attacking their character, attacking their children, so many things. And then will turn right back around and say that she's never done these things, or then chastise other people, hence Fox. And I'm going to play the footage so that we have the proof in the pudding, because that's what I'm finding in TikTok. It's just become a very immature back and forth on these lives, and we're not getting anywhere. So let's just not talk about it anymore, as the people say. Let's be about it, right? So before we get back to the full nucleus of the matter, which is the things that we really should be discussing, and this is what I challenge Hayley Comet and her sycophants and her devotees on. Instead of continually attacking people like Sexy Fata 7, Sexy Fata 3, however she's categorized now on TikTok, Sexy Fata, instead of attacking Sabrian, instead of attacking family members such as Alana Trotz, who is literally a blood family member who we've seen boots on the ground with her cousin Amisha. She is the cousin of Amisha Simon, Adriana Young's mother. She was the one who was authorized by Amika Lewis and Amisha Simon to be the official GoFundMe personnel. It's at the beginning, at the onset of this whole demise, this whole tragedy, this whole fight for Adriana. And literally, Hayley Comet told people not to donate to that to Alana's GoFundMe. She had people send her money personally. So many things that have transpired where people are just, to me, either oblivious or they're I'm baffled. Help me understand. Please share with me for those that come in. I'm open to comments, intellectual, respectful comments. Please don't come in here with the sycophant comments with all your stuff, because just as easy as y'all can give it, I can give it too. Don't let the turban and the gentle voice fool you, because she gets gully. But I'm going to hold my peace and try and be as poised as possible, because, again, remember, this is about Adriana Young. So I'm not here to have incitement and drama and chaos. I am here to get back to the nucleus of the matter, call a spade, and let's move on to what we need to be talking about. And these are the things that I challenge Hayley Comet about, which is, why are you not spending more time talking about the Commander Mandel, talking about Leroy Smith, talking about the higher ups, the Clint, I think his name is Clinton Hickens or whatever. I can't remember right now because I don't have my notes. But there are high powered people that played a part in not properly investigating and or in actual the demise of this beautiful girl Adriana Young. But yet you, for the clickbait and the likes and the chaos, continue these narratives that aren't helping the family heal, that aren't helping the family get true justice. What it's helping you do, though, is keep your pockets filled, Hayley, because each day we calculate, we see what you get put in your account. So the question that I pose to Hayley is, why not be doing more of the real work if you claim to be a criminologist? And I'm going to play that footage, because one day you say you are, the next day you say you don't. And just depending on what you've ingested in your body that day determines how you respond and how you act. And we'll talk about that as well. So I'm going to play a couple of clips for you all. And yeah, let's just go through this thing. I'm trying to. So the first thing I'm gonna bring up on the stage is going to be the thing that really bothered me the most, is the attacking of Fata. So we talked about the questions. We posed the question of, does her bringing awareness in her demographic into whatever demographic she claims supersedes these atrocious acts that we're about to just go through and sit through together? And so, grab your popcorn, your wine, your tea, your whatever that makes you comfortable, and let's just not attack, but let's just look at the facts. Let's just look at the evidence. There's going to be several clips, so we'll try to make this what we call short and sweet. But I ain't really a short and sweet type, so I hope you all can hang on and enjoy the ride here with Snap. All right, let me bring up this particular one here.
Some people to fuck line. They won't let me out. I'm locked up. I don't wear no bra. I'm locked up. Visitation no longer comes by. Seems like they forgot about me. Um,
You all heard that, right? This is a woman who, now there's another clip that I'm going to play where she's talking about how she, is a woman activist, et cetera, how she wants to empower women. Literally, if I didn't know any better, this is not this is just a statement that I'm making based on what I view, the actions, the characteristics, right? The signs. If I didn't know any better, I would wonder if HC is a person that suffers from some type of mental ailment, bipolarism, borderline schizophrenia, or something of that matter, if not something else, which we're gonna, dive down the rabbit hole. So this is a woman who claims to be a criminologist and claims to be about, in one day, at one moment, in that breath of air, she's stating to be about, justice and all these things. But then, as a person who has a following, a large enough following to be very influential and very positively influential, this is what we get.
I'm locked up, they won't let me out, which been enticing other people to fight online. They won't let me out, I'm locked up, I don't wear no bra, I don't wear no bra. I'm locked.
Does that seem like someone rational to you? This is a woman, and mind you, her children are in her home when she's doing these lives day in and day out. For those that are really paying attention, or those that's not paying attention, start to pay attention. You will constantly hear throughout every live that she does, she's constantly fidgety, moving around, licking lips. It's indicative of certain signs, right? And the babies, this woman's babies. I'm a mother, and I'm not attacking anybody, but I am concerned because day in and day out, these children are subliminally being provided energy of all of this derogatory, chaotic, erratic energy. Babies are walking up periodically. I want snacks. Mommy, can you help me with this? Mommy, can I get a lighter? Mommy, such and such says she hates me, and there's no attention that's drawn to these children because this is what this person, this quote unquote criminologist, is doing. This has nothing to do with justice for Adriana Younge. And anybody of sound right mind and logic, regardless of what might transpire out there in the world, if I was a person that claims to be a criminologist, claims to be a person that has this massive following and want to do good, it doesn't matter what. If Sexy Fata had said anything negative around my platform, that wouldn't have mattered to me. I would have addressed it respectfully. Hey, I'm not here for that. We're talking about the facts. And if you want to have a conversation, we can have an intellectual conversation. But if it's not about going over the intricate facts and evidence of Adriana Younge so that we can keep that momentum going, we can be talking about petitions, writing letters to try and see what other parties outside of the GP force, GPF, to get involved in this matter, then that's all we need to be talking about. But this is what we have.
Locked up. Visitation no longer comes by. Seems like they forgot about me.
This woman is humming while talking about another woman, another mother, possibly being behind bars. I don't know if that was an actual jail cell, if that was actually Fata behind the jail cell. That's not the point. The point is that the immature actions of Hayley Comet that these people are still wanting to give her credit for and say that we need her. Is this what the people of Guyana need? Is this what Adriana Younge's mother needs? Is this what Sabrian needs? I don't think so. Now, mind you, remember, we just watched her talking about this woman and joking and being jovial about her being in jail. Now, remember I said that some of her actions are a little questionable, and this is not me attacking her, but these are the things that are being brought up in conversations. So I'm going to bring up this, and I'm just going to let you all listen to this and you formulate your own judgment. And the reason, before I bring it up, I want you all to remember what Hayley Comet stated repetitively, unapologetically, about Miss Carol. Whether there is whatever part Miss Carol may or may not have played in the negligence of Adriana in her demise, that I deal with facts and I deal with evidence. So I'm not going to go by speculations on hearsay. I didn't see any footage. I don't know anything. Do I think that there was some room for improvement as a mother and an adult of children, nieces, nephews? I would have never had my back turned to the pool when children are in the pool. So I do want to make that very clear. Just because I am in disagreement with the things that HC has done and says as it pertains to the family, particularly under such sensitive matters. I am not condoning any negligence because I love children and I don't play about children. So something like that, I would I would be devastated if it happened on my watch because I know I would have taken every precaution to ensure that I'm making sure I'm being responsible while I have children under my care, right? So let me just give that preface and give that disclaimer. But with that being stated, remember, this is a person who has accused this woman of all kinds of things. And we have the footage. And if those of you, if you want to drop in the comments, because I know some of you will, if I don't have that footage right now, I don't want to come back to this Hayley Comet conversation, but for the sake of verification, I will, because it's so much footage that I've been flooded with that might have escaped me on this episode because I really want to be done with it. But if not, I don't have a problem at some point saying, oh yeah, remember you all asked for that proof? Oh, here's the proof of what she said about Granny and about Granny having garden parties and putting pink substances up her nose and being taken to the hospital, whether it's true or not. This is someone who's stating to be of a certain stature as a criminologist, though she's not, but she's stating that she is, but conducting herself in these manners. But then let's listen to what she says about her own walk of life.
Choice, which she'd had an addiction for before, which was cocaine, was still on the side. And anyone who's ever been in addiction before, including myself, will tell you that in...
Let's just make sure we heard that. She said, including myself. I'm a child of a parent, a biological parent, my biological father. By the Most High, I was blessed to have a beautiful stepfather and raised in a very well-rounded home from the age of 2. My stepfather is my father, but I also knew my biological father. And I'm sharing something that I said I wouldn't share on this platform this early on, but let's just go ahead because this is the human experience. This is where we have compassion. Because when I see people, because I was around it, my mother never kept me from my father, even knowing his afflictions. I knew my daddy, and he was a beautiful man. He just enjoyed life too much to where it took a hold of him. And he enjoyed so many different things that he put in his body that caused him to have certain mannerisms and behaviors and characteristics that I know very well and that I've studied. So I know one when I see one. And I'm concerned when that one comes into a community that I care about as a cultured Caribbean descendant, and they attack the people that I look at that remind me of me that I love. So that's concerning to me. And this is why I fight. Because sometimes we don't know what we're walking into when we're walking into the devil's den. Because as it said, wolves come in sheep's clothing. So let's just remember that she came for Granny Carol, talked about this woman like a dog, regardless of whether it's true or not. Who is she to judge? Who is any of us to judge for that matter? Ye without sin cast the first stone.
Till the whole of our drug of choice is gone, we ain't looking for anything else. We're not trying nothing new. We're not doing anything. So the fact that she was found with a high dosage of nitrocine in her system.
The moral of the story was the fact that she talked about substance abuse and she acknowledged. But then you come on this platform and you attack somebody else who could possibly be suffering from substance abuse. So for those that might have amnesia or just can't believe it, let me run it for you one more time.
To take the drugs herself is because her drug of choice, which she'd had an addiction for before, which was cocaine, was still on the side. And anyone who's ever been in addiction before, including myself, will tell you that until the whole of our drug of choice is gone, we ain't looking for anything else. We're not trying nothing new. We're not doing anything. So the fact that she was found with a high dose
So this is her again having a conversation on what she considers an expert level and acknowledging that she has suffered from substance abuse. Once an addict is always considered an addict, and that doesn't mean that one is currently doing drugs, not drugs, but currently doing substances, but it just means that you have been deemed or labeled like a person who has an alcohol addiction. You know, you're considered an addict. So people that have addiction tendencies need to be very careful when they take on responsibilities that could cause them heightened stress because it can send them into a state where they're no longer in remission. They're no longer in dealing with sobriety. And when they are trying to create an imagery or a false narrative of this image, right? This person, this persona, then a lot of times people revert back to who they were before because they need that substance in order to fuel them and give them the false confidence that they need in order to conduct themselves in the mannerisms that they do. So, again, this isn't me attacking this young lady. This is me bringing to knowledge to all of you that are out there that may see this to get an understanding of why the people like me and many others that have gone into live and have dialogues and discourse about the detriment that she has in her mannerisms where it can be concerning. Prime example that she got locked up. Won't that we just saw that video? Anybody that's of sound mind psychologically would conduct themselves like that at that age with children that are close to pubescent age. I believe her children are prepubescent, if not pubescent. Who conducts themselves like that? And anyone that does do that and they don't have some type of psychological imbalance, then the next question is, are you okay? Are you indulging in things that are causing you to act in this way? Or do you need medication to regulate, your adrenals, regulate your nervous system, regulate all of those things? So, in any event, I'm just again bringing up because all of the things that have been happening recently has really been disturbing. So let's dive into another clip that I think is important for us to listen to, and this is going to be two people now that are bringing injustice to Adriana Younge and her family. So while we're going to discuss Hayley Comet, we're going to also segue in, which would have been the original episode that I was going to do, but this Haley thing was just so it just became so prevalent because of the attacks at Fata and me and other people saying that we sent her to Scotland Yard. I don't even know what she's speaking about. I think she might have been talking about the cyber reports because this woman did literally state that she wanted to have people go and burn down an establishment. Not that I am for the double day person because we all who are for justice for Adriana are not about that man. But I would not, with a platform of her magnitude, be inciting arson and telling people to go and burn down things and saying, I literally acknowledge she would tell Scotland Yard that she did it. So, in any event, I want to play another video. And the question that I'm asking is this a person? Again, the question that we put at the front line is, does her awareness that she brings to her demographics supersede her mannerisms, her detriment, her immature, accusatory, irrefutable harm that she is continuously day in and day out doing? Let's look at this clip here and let's think about it.
Family corrupt. You're a scumbag. You're a
They are
scumbag.
corrupt because they're blowing this child case, and the mother and this aunt Angie is talking so much and contradicting this case. And you
Well, let me ask you something, Angela. Let me ask you something, Angela.
What is your implication?
Let me ask you something, Angela.
What are you getting from this?
Your two brothers were murdered. Why didn't you get justice for them? Why didn't you get justice for your two brothers? Your family took a payoff of a house. You took a house instead of justice for your two brothers. You took a house instead of justice for your two brothers. You took a house instead of justice for your two brothers. Your brothers were murdered by Guyana and you didn't get justice. You got paid off by a house. You're a scumbag.
I didn't get any money, dumb bitch.
Yeah, of course you didn't. Of course you didn't.
You dumb bitch.
Of course you didn't.
Prove it. Prove it. Prove
Voodoo,
it.
voodoo. You're nuts, Angela. Nuts.
I'm going to put the voodoo
Where's
on
your
you.
lawsuit? Where's your
I'm
lawsuit?
going to put the
Show us
voodoo
proof.
on you and a
Show us
lawsuit.
proof of your
I'm going to have
lawsuit.
you walking on your head.
You
gonna
can't
have
do
you walking
shit.
on
You
your
couldn't
head.
even get justice for your brothers. Instead, you took a payoff. You ain't going to do
I'm
shit.
going to do one on you.
You ain't going to do shit.
I'm going to have you walking on your head.
I'll cough in your mouth. I
Laughing like a woman. They say.
Now, these are two women that I deem are unstable. Both have come out of the gate. The two in Angela from TikTok that everyone is talking about. I am so disappointed, which I, as with my spirit of discernment, saw things that were disturbing to me early on. But because she was appearing to want to advocate for justice for Adriana and her family, I, because of a consensus with my peers, my team members that I've through TikTok, I said, okay, well, if you all are in a consensus that she wants to come aboard and be a part of this movement that we're about, I will go with the consensus. But me personally, there was always something about 2N Angela that disturbed my spirit. I used to watch her in the lives, and I told you this, Angela. If you watch this, you remember I told you when it finally came to fruition, and I said, "Yo, you ain't right. You're a mad woman. Something not right with you." And we originally tried to gently tell Angela, 2N Angela, that you cannot start attacking the family the same way that Hayley is. And during this time, when you all are hearing this argument that you just heard, this was when 2N Angela was coming to the light where people were starting to question her because Hayley brought up some evidence that 2N Angela had started to go funding. We'll get into that the next episode because that was supposed to be this episode, all of the facts. And let's talk about, again, are you helping? Are you hindering? How can you now be attacking the mother of Adriana Younge, bringing up posts, looking and saying, "Oh, what I need to ask a question." Call to action: does the mother look like she's mourning? Do we see any tears from the mother? That is freaking asinine. That is insane. That is insane. So these are two very unstable women, per my standards and per the standards of my peers, that were having a debate because they were brought up on this real is king. And this is what we're going to get into at some point in the line about these platforms. Please be advised that when you're going on these platforms, these people sadly are trying to build a following as large as people's like Hayley's, which there's people that's far bigger than her, but to her close to 300K, she has hit the jackpot, which is fine per her standards. But these people, all of this, what we just saw, this is incitement. This is the television drama, the reality TV that gains traction. This is what people like, but this has nothing to do with justice for Adriana Younge. It has nothing to do with justice for Adriana's family. Now, I want you all to take heed to what we just heard. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because the next clip, I believe if it's the one that's in here, it should be in here about her saying how she's disgusted by spit. If I don't have it in here now, I'll try to cue it up before we get out of here. But she said she'll cough in Angela's mouth. In Angela could not use her words while going through this debate and started calling Hayley out her name of BLT stage. So both of these women, to me, have the veil has been lifted. Their slip is showing who they truly are at their core. Not stable women to be aiding or be leading out or to be trend setting or trailblazing for anybody's justice. These are two women that both need to go to their corners and literally do some of their own healing, settle their spirit. They should not be engaging at this magnitude for anybody or with anybody because they have suppressed and or repressed trauma that they have not dealt with. And one, actually, we just heard Hayley acknowledge that she's had addiction, you know, afflictions. So I want to play it again for those because that I would have never told I could never tell somebody I would cough. Who again, anybody help me, please comment on who wants to cough in somebody. Is that a thing? Did I miss something? Is that a fucking thing? Like, do we coughing in people? That's disgusting. So you try. So what do you have? So if it was me, if Angela would have been on her square and on her toes, I would have immediately calmed my spirit and was like, whoa, wait a minute, let's talk about that. What do you mean cough in my mouth? So if you and I were in a physical state and we were debating, You're telling me that you would cough in my mouth? You would try and spit your particles onto me? So the question is, what do you have that you're trying to give me? If you threaten to cough in somebody's mouth, you have to have something that will be damaging to me. Why would you cough in my mouth? Who thinks of something like that's something? Think about this, people that are all of you that are on the Haley train. Think about who says things like this.
Shit, you didn't get justice for your brothers. Instead, you took a payoff. You ain't gonna do shit.
I'm gonna do one on you.
You ain't gonna do shit.
I'm gonna have you walking on your head.
I'll cough in your mouth.
Laughing like a woman, disabled woman, and thinking that that's cool. That's not cool. You're a horrible person.
You raise money for dead children that aren't your children. You raise money for dead children. You're a scammer.
Go look for work, Hayley.
You're broke.
Why can't you go file an application and get a legitimate job? Do you even change your...
Now, mind you, this is the person who took money to her personal account, did not give the money. I got somebody at my door. Give me a second. We're going to take a pause and be right back.